Hi everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. I've got a mass make or a bulk make for you today. It's a very easy project, so it's ideal for making quite a few of, ready to pop in your journals. Now, I've used some 6x6 papers for some, I've used 8x8 papers, and I've also made a couple just with scraps of card that I had on my desk for whatever reason. Now the first one, I had this on my desk because I'd used it to clean my brushes after doing some inking. I then just put a few splatters on it and thought I need to use it because it's pretty. And I just popped a piece of vellum over, put a die cut on, a few little bits of bling, popped a tab on it, and popped a piece of scrapbook paper that matched. And where's that upside? Oh yes, look. The writing is that way up, so the butterfly's upside down. For a change. One of my subscribers, Welther, is always waiting to see me use a butterfly upside down, and we found one there, look. I think I did it on another tab as well. Anyway, I digress, as per usual. So that was the first one. It's plain on the back, so you can use it to journal on, or you could glue it into a junk journal or scrapbook. You can glue it on the wall if you want, and use it as another pocket behind. Yeah, I then made a couple more. I made this one using some autumn scrapbook paper. They came from a 6x6 pad that I had. I've just popped a few rub-ons on that one and a little die cut from the collection. And then I thought, ooh, it's that one. That's another single-sided one. That's another bit of card where I've been cleaning my brush. That was a little bit bright and in your face for my liking. So it worked really well for this project. So when you can only see a little bit of it round edge, I think it looks so much prettier. So that's that one. And this one, I thought, ooh, we don't need to just make it single. We can make it double, that back piece, so that we can create a pocket. And then we've got another journaling card that we can pop in. So pop that back in. There we go. It's also ideal for your single-sided cards because your white side will be on the inside. It's also good for those where you like one side but you don't like the other so much, because you won't see it. It'll all be tucked inside. You'll only see it when you open it up to put that journal card in. So that one's got two journal cards. Yeah. If you could make these the right size for, say, a gift card, they'd be perfect for that. Yeah, I think we might try that in this video. We shall see. So there's one that I made with an 8x8. In fact, if you use an 8x8 piece of scrapbook paper, it's more or less a one sheet wonder, because I've used half to make the fold over base, and then I've used the other half to make the two journal cards. And on the front of this one, I've not even used vellum, I've used tracing paper just to see if it could be done. So if you don't have any vellum hanging around, you can use tracing paper. Mine, I believe, came from Poundland. I suppose if you're over in US, they probably sell it in Dollar Tree or any other of your, well, I can't remember the name of other ones. Is he a Dollar General? I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's that. And this, I didn't even use the tab shape on the top. I just used two circles glued together to make the tab. Pop some eyelets in and a bit of ribbon. I got that idea from Pretty Pink Studio. I'll link her below. Yeah, I did one of her projects a while back which were gorgeous. She does some really good stuff. So yeah, I nicked that circle idea from her. It's very simple, but I didn't think of it myself. So yeah, I made a few more double-sided ones. This I used, I don't think I would have used that card for anything else, but because this belly band is the bit that's decorated, I didn't need to decorate that. But I think it just looks really nice behind. My base piece was a very plain piece of scrapbook paper, so you can journal on the back. And I've just decorated the front with some rub-ons. Again, they were just hanging around on my desk. And I've got a blank bit there, so I just popped off a label on it. So the label crept in. And I've just decorated that one with some butterfly stickers. Yeah, again, this one I've used rub-ons. It's the same piece of card I've used. I haven't made the journal cards inside yet. I will. Yeah, and yeah, a couple of eyelets in that tab. You can put ribbon in or not. It depends. It depends what you like. So I'll do one with a 6x6 sheet first. So I'll move these. I've got some lovely 8x8 sheets here. I'll move these out of the way and we'll do the 6x6 first. So what shall I do? I think I might do another autumnal one because it's autumn and it is very pretty paper. I did a one sheet wonder with the 12x12 in this collection last year. Again, I'll link that as well. Oh, that's pretty. That will be pretty for the journal cards. Did I use it on? I don't know if I used it on the last one. It doesn't really matter, does it? I just need to pick one and use it. We're taking 3 days over it. So we'll use that one. I did use this one again for journal card. I don't know how many you get of each design in these, but it's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It must be 6, yeah. Ooh. They can be... Oh, I could cut around one of those and decorate the front. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'll just move that stash out of the way as well, so I'm not knocking it with my elbow. Oh, another thing I've used for cards. Here in the UK we get these A5, which is half of our A4 sheet of paper, which is like equivalent to your letter size, but slightly different size. We get these. They're perfect as well for making these. But anything. If you've got lots of digitals that you've printed out and not used, you could make them with those. Oh, look. There's just paper everywhere. The crafter's life, isn't it? Now these have these, yeah, strips on top, so I'm going to cut those off first. Grab the trusty trimmer. So you could keep them on if it's sometimes with these. What I'll do is I'll cut them in 3, and then I've got a tag shape in the top ready made. That's a thing, but I can't do it with every sheet, can I? So I'll just cut that strip off. I know I may cut these down even more, but just for now I need to get rid of that strip because it bothers me. I don't know why, it just does. If stripping... Oh, me and my words. I nearly said if strippers bother you, cut them off. That's terrible. If those strips bother you, cut them off. The strips, not strippers. Oh my word. Oh, I hope I don't get me... video took now of talking about strippers. No, I won't. Right, so which one shall I use as the background and which for the journal card? I think this time I'm going to use that as the background. Mind you know, it's going to have that. No, I'm going to use that as the journal card because I do like that. And I'm going to use this as the base. So you don't even need a scoreboard for this. I'm just basically folding it in half. I was a bit high up there, weren't I? I've got myself really tucked into my desk now. Whee! And grab your bone folder or handy lollipop stick that came with your rub-on. See, you don't need the fancy tools. I'm using the lollipop stick as a bone folder. Yeah, there you go. And we've got the base there already. So now I'm going to grab a punch. The size doesn't matter really. 2.5 inch this one is, because I know someone's going to ask, but it's just the one that I grabbed. And I'm just going to take a little divot out. There's no wonder they've jumped down my top and in my eye before. Yeah, wear eye protection when you're using punches. I've got my glasses on. I wouldn't see what I'm crafting without my glasses on. Right, so then this piece is going to be used to make the journal card there and the one inside. But first let's find some vellum. And like I say, if you don't have vellum, use tracing paper, use just another strip of the card. It doesn't have to be see-through. I don't know if that green goes. I think it does actually. I think that green goes with everything, it really does, but I think I'm still going to use yellow just to be awkward. It's a little bit more see-through and that's such a pretty paper behind. So I just need to cut that down. I don't know the size I've used on the others because I honestly didn't measure it. Now we know these will obviously be 6 inches high and 3 inches wide. So I'm just going to cut this down. That strip is nearly 3 inches. I think I'll just cut it at 1.5 and whatever's left. They're not completely square, some of these offcuts. And I'm going to cut slow because it's vellum. We don't want it wrinkling or... I find if you cut it too fast you don't get an accurate cut. Is that one straight? Yeah, they are actually both straight. So that one piece I can use for two. Now, before I glue this together, I'm just going to open it up so that I can pop my vellum on. Actually, I'm going to decide where to put my vellum while it's closed. It's much easier for me to get it central. That looks about right. And I'm just going to fold it over the top. Whoops. Then I can open it up. I've had to turn it the other way. Fold that one over again. There you go. I like the look of that. Is it straight? It's straight enough. It's straight-ish. Maybe that's a bit straighter. And I'm just going to glue. I'm going to use my art glitter glue for this. It can wrinkle this thin vellum, but it's going to be on the inside. We're not going to see it. I tend to shy away from doing the sticking on vellum where you can see it. And if you do, I tend to use double-sided adhesive, something dry, and then cover it with an embellishment so you don't see it. I think it's fair to say I'm scared of vellum. Yeah. That's that one. I'll just check that's still looking straight before I glue the other one. It's as straight as it needs to be, isn't it? And there we go. Pop a bit of glue on there. Whee. So that's that. Now while that just finishes drying, I'm going to cut my journal cards. Now the first one, so that it's going to fit in nice and snugly, I just cut it a teeny little bit shorter than the 6 inch. Maybe take an 1/8 to a 1/16 of an inch off. Just take a bit off. If it needs a bit more off, take a bit more off. Now width wise, I'm going to mark it there. I'm not definitely going to cut there, but I'm just going to see what that measurement comes out at. Can I fit it in my tiny baby trimmer? I can, so I don't need to get that chompy one out now. So that will make it, it makes it just short of 2 1/8 of an inch. So do you know what? I'm going to make it 2 1/4 inches, just because that's easy to remember. There we go. Then I'm just going to take a sliver off the top. And then I'll see if that fits in. I've not made that as wide as some of my others because I really like that pattern and I just love that stripe look as it goes along. Now your other piece, you need to take a little bit more off. Take perhaps 1/4 of an inch off, and the width of it needs to be just short of 3 inches because we want it to go in. We've took the little divot out so that we can pull it out. So I'm just going to try and even that sentiment up in the middle while making it just short of 3 inches. Oh, that's fine. That looks good to me. And I'm going to take about 1/4 of an inch off top. I'm guesstimating this. Maybe 1/4 to a half. 1/4 to a half. Because we want it to fit in nicely even when we've glued the top. Yeah, if you want to round your corners, I would do it now before you've got the glue on if you've got a corner rounder that's less industrial. Less industrial. I do come up with some rubbish, me, don't I? But I've been buying again. Ta-da! I said I'd never buy one of these again because I broke two, but I bought it second hand on eBay. I got this and the We Are Memory Capers frame punch board for £20 plus the postage, and I thought that were a bargain. Absolute bargain. And I will link the lovely lady that I've been buying from on eBay for those of you in need of something like this. Haha. There you go. Ta-da. It goes through thicker things a lot easier. If you're not clumsy, you don't drop them on the floor, not a problem with this tool, but twice I've dropped them on the floor and broke a wing off. And in UK, it's not as easy to get customer service from We Are Memory Keepers as it is in US. Right, I'm just going to then round my journal cards as well. And then we'll have one done. You know, if you don't waffle like I do, you can make these things an awful lot quicker. An awful lot quicker. There we go. So that's not going up front, woman. This one's going up front. So that's going to go on the front. Now, if you wanted to, you could mass make these and not decorate them. Well, this one's obviously going to be a fall, autumn theme, isn't it? And, yeah, decorate them as you put them in a journal. You know, if you were using your plain scrapbook papers. Right, I'm just going to glue just the top and the bottom. I'll put glue on that side. And then we'll close it up and we've got our double-sided... I don't even know what I'm going to call these. You probably know, you've seen it. But I don't know at the minute what on earth I'm going to call them. Belly band journal cards. I don't know. I don't even know what they are. You can call them what you want. Yeah, that's nice. Can you see how that fits just snugly by making it a tiny bit smaller? And before I pop that in, I'm going to let the glue dry. So I'm just going to find something to pop on that front bit. And I think I want to use one of these. I might just cut out the Hello Autumn part. And if I do it carefully, can I do it carefully? Probably not. I could use that as a frame, but I doubt I can do it that carefully. But I'm going to try. And yeah, I'm coming in from edge. Because even if it's cut on one corner, we could still... No, it's not. It's never going to be a frame, this. No, it's not happening. I could get me craft knife out and faff about, but I'm notoriously good at trying to cut my fingers off when I use that on camera. If I use my craft knife often, I get okay with it. But I am the kind of person who I use too much pressure. So yeah, just pop that on Hello Autumn. How easy is that? It doesn't have to be too fancy. And I'm just going to put some glue in the centre bit. And I'll pop it there. You could put it, let's put it middle. No, I'm going to put it there. I just love to change my mind. I'm going to take that journal card out because it's messing up my perception of whether that's straight or not. There we go. That says Hello Autumn. Well, it's nearly goodbye autumn now, isn't it? Christmas is coming. And then I'm just going to use a tab on the top. I do have some ready punch tabs. I don't know if I've got one that matches or I'm knocking my water over. This is one of my desk jumbles. Look, it's just everything left on my desk from last time I did any crafting. I've just ready-made a lot of these tabs and I even put ribbon in, but I've probably put them away somewhere so safe. I don't know where they are. So instead I'm going to grab, I've got some scraps from the last autumn ones I made when I didn't really know what I was doing. Some leftover bits. I think I might want a checked tab. Yeah, because I'm not too keen on that black. So I'm just going to grab a circle punch and I'll make the tab with a circle. I've got my 1 1/4 inch circle punch. Oh, I could. Do you know, I'm not going to put eyelets in this. Look, I'm just going to punch around that butterfly. And we can maybe have a pumpkin on the back. Yeah, that's it. Ooh. Lovely. You could put one eyelet above the butterfly. But I don't think this is going to need any ribbon. That's just going to look pretty enough, isn't it? It certainly is. So I'm just going to pop glue on this one. Whee. Oh, that's so pretty. See, you don't need fancy stuff. But it's always nice to have, isn't it? We love our fancy stuff. But don't ever let that stop you. Think, oh, I can't make that because I don't have that tool or that paper or that whatever. You can make it. All you're seeing is the one we made that we're showing you. I often then make more off camera. That pumpkin's a little bit wonky, but I can live with that. Oh, I've straightened it up. So no, I obviously couldn't live with it, could I? So that's that one. How pretty is that? And that was very simple. I've just used pattern papers and very little decoration. Now I'm going to see whether I've cut enough off the top of this other journal card. Do you know, I don't know what's better sometimes, cutting just a semicircle in front or doing both. You're going to have problems either way. I have. With my big sausage fingers. Yeah, that's far too tight. I'm going to cut a bit more off and then I will measure how much I've cut off. Because I didn't actually measure it as I made my prototype, so there aren't really any measurements. That's better. There you go. So I just need to round those corners. I'm going to take it out and leave it out for now because I don't want that glue that's not quite set to end up sticking to the top and the bottom. So let's round my corners off. Whee. Oh, I've used big corner this time. It doesn't matter, does it? We've got big corners at top and little at bottom. I actually think that looks good. So that's that. Wow, that's so pretty. Now, if you've got Christmas papers hanging about, just think how many of those you could make. You could make them instead of Christmas cards. You could. Ooh, you could not glue the front up. It could be a Christmas card. Don't glue the front up. Don't do the inside. I'll show you as I make the next one. And you've got a Christmas card. How pretty is that? Oh, yeah. You could tuck a gift card in if you made it a little bit shorter. Oh, that's a good idea. Whee. Right, so next one, I'm going to grab an 8x8 piece of paper. So here are my 8x8 papers. I really want to use some of these. So what have we got? Oh, that's so pretty. I'm going to use that one. Yeah, because it's so pretty. And the back is also so pretty. Right, put the rest back over here. I'm learning to keep my desk a little bit clearer so I've got more room to craft. I don't know how long that's going to last. I've already not put pen in my glue. Oh, what's she like, that woman? Right, it's another one of those pads with the thing on the top. I never knew I had so many of those. So let's get my trimmer back out. I'm guesstimating what's 8x8 because it only measures up to 6. But I'll just cut along the line. There we go. I'm not throwing those away though because I think I can use them for something. Right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. 4. In fact, you know, yeah, I'll cut it dead on 4. Make life easy. So one of them is going to be for my base. So let's decide what. I think I'm going to use that one because I'll have those butterflies poking out the side of whatever vellum I use. Yeah, that'll be pretty. And then this is going to be for my cards. So I'm going to cut the first card to, oh, let's make it 3 inches. Do I need to make it 3? No, I want to make this 3 3/4 because on this one I'm not using a different pattern, it is the same pattern. And then the inside one I'm going to cut this to just short of 4 inches. And oh, I said I'd measure the last one to see how much I cut off to allow for the glue, didn't I? So for a 6x6 one I ended up cutting 1/2 inch off. So I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off this as well. So I've made it just short of 3 inches by 3 3/4 inches high. Just short of 3 inches wide, 3 3/4 inches high. I'll put those measurements up on the screen. Because I didn't know I was going to be telling you measurements as I went along. Because I just made it up as I went along. So this, I don't know, could I use that as the background? But it mean covering up those beautiful butterflies. I don't think I can do it. So I've got to have the butterflies showing. They're just so pretty. I'll fold that in half. So our base will measure 4 inches by 4 inches. Get my super posh bone folder out again, which is probably going to give me a splinter if I keep using it as a bone folder. So that will be my card for the front. And that will be my card for inside. Now let's grab some vellum. And oh, that's nice. It is. What else do I... Oh, this is nice. Oh, look at that. It's got little dots on. That is so pretty. I want to use that. Do you know, I could make that not quite as wide as the thing. Oh, just cut it in half, woman, and then we'll get to it. Stop. Ooh, I could. Ooh, I could do this. I could do that. Yeah. You could bake a cake instead of... Yeah, you could bake a cake instead of making a journal card. But that's not what you're doing, is it? So, yeah, I like that. I don't think I need it that long, though. I just want a little bit of a tuck. So I'm going to cut a bit off end. Again, I've not measured. As long as I've got a little bit to tuck over, top and bottom, the size of it doesn't really matter. It just needs to be longer than 4 inches. I mean, we women have known for a long time that size really don't matter. And it's true when it comes to crafting. So I'm going to fold that over. Open it up while I fold it. The reason I'm opening it up while I fold it over is if I folded it over and I didn't open it up, I'm supposed to be doing, the vellum perhaps wouldn't be tight enough to hold the journal card. If it's too loose and baggy, it's not going to hold your journal card in place, is it? So another reason I'm not decorating the journal cards, because they're only being held by a strip of vellum. And I don't want them to get caught when they're going in and out. That looks about middle. So I'll open this up and I'm going to glue it. Oh, I've not cut my notch yet. But because this strip is so small in the middle, I'm not going to accidentally cut that strip when I put my notch on the side. So that's glued. That's glued. Oh, look at me getting fancy, doing both sides at once. Can you imagine mass making these? You cut them all to size, then you put your vellum strips on them all, then you do your front journal cards, then your back. It all depends how many you wanted to make. Now, as I was saying, you could do it as a Christmas card. If you were using this as a Christmas card, that's where you'd stop. Voila, you've got a Christmas card. And you can pop that in front to write on the back of. Decorate that up. Bob's your uncle, job's a good un, all that palaver. Right, let's do that little notch. I'm going to use, where's my big punch gone? I'm going to use this big punch again, because I'm not making it as a Christmas card. I'm making it as a journal card. This might go nice in my pink rose journal that's been ongoing for a while. That is how I tend to make journals. They do take me a while because I keep adding to them over time. That's why I have quite a few on go at once. Then all of a sudden they'll all be finished when I've had a mad weekend. So yeah. Let's round some corners. Use the 1/4 inch side. I need to label this up so I don't get confused like I did with last one and cut 2 small corners and 2 big ones. Yeah, I've reached that age where everything needs labelling now. Sometimes I think I need to put a label on me so I remember my own name. Whee. That's that. And I'm going to round these corners as well. I just like to round them first when I remember so they don't get gunked up with glue. But I don't always remember. I've not got a fabulous memory. So glue down there, wee, and glue down there, another wee. Ooh, that was very wonky. If I'd wanted to do that kind of a curve, I probably wouldn't have managed it. And we'll find something to decorate the front while that glue dries. So I've got these out because I knew I'd want at some point some rose rub-ons, and I don't even think that's a rose, but I like it colour wise. I'm going to use it. Whee. It's not a coincidence these were on my desk. I just didn't put them away when I was putting my rub-ons away because I knew I'd use a pink one. And I'm right. I'm always right. I know everything I do. And it's not a rose, but whatever. It could be a rose. I don't know. It's a flower. Oh, it's a bit too wide, isn't it? That one. I like it, but if you've got a particular rub-on you want to use, make sure you cut your vellum strip wide enough, or you might have to find a different one. Which I'm going to have to do now. So let's grab some more rose rub-ons. Right, I've grabbed these. These are some Tapology ones from the set they sent me in summer. Those are the Wandic ones. I've got those linked on my Amazon storefront, and these I've always got Tapology linked in my links. So let's find one. It doesn't have to be a rose, I just want the colour to match. And I'm just going to stick a rose and perhaps a butterfly on. Got lots of these. I think I might have put 2 different packs into one packet here. Knowing me. Ooh. I'm being a bit picky. I'm being picky now. I've got all these pink flowers. One of them's going to match for me. I do like that one. I do like that one. Let's cut that off and see what it looks like. Oh, that is pretty. Like that. We're going to have a tab on the top. So if I have a flower, I could put a sentiment there and a butterfly there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So let's not put them back in packet, because we don't do things like that, do we? No, we're not tidy people. So grab your sentiment. I'm going to grab some Tim Holtz ones, I think. You know, the little clippings that he has. What are these? Clippings. Clipping sticker box. Right. Oh, the flowers. The flowers appear on the earth. Oh. Yeah. Do that. Just going to peel it up a little bit. I'm not going to take it off, because if I don't do that, I won't be able to find it again. So yeah, now I know that's going to be small, I can pop my rub-on on. I just like the colour, it matches. I don't even know if they're roses. I am so bad with flowers. I'll put it like that. And then I'll have the sentiment going over its stem. Yeah, do that. Grab your bone folder. No, it's not. It's one of the sticks that comes in with the ribbons. And let's rub. They do go on vellum quite nicely. If you saw my last video, it was more Christmassy, weren't it? We're using Christmas rub-ons. Lots of different things to do with them. I don't think I used vellum. There we go, that's pretty. And I'm going to grab this. I think I'll cut it into 2. I could either cut it into 2 or mount it on a piece of card. I'm just going to cut it into 2, but you could mount it on a piece of card. Now, I do normally put a little bit of glue on the back of these. I've been very good and not touched the back, and I'm putting it on vellum, so I'm going to give it a whirl. If it falls off later, I'll put some glue behind them. You're not supposed to need glue, but I often find you do. Is that straight enough? Yeah, straight enough. Oh, I like that. I don't even know if it needs a butterfly, but I do love a butterfly. Don't I? Let's make a tab. I'm going to make a tab shaped one this time using my tab punch. Again, I've always got this on my Amazon storefront link. What paper shall we use? It's a pity that the little strip I had left over wasn't the right size. So grab something, woman. Ooh, this looks good. What is it? No, I don't like the colour of that. Let me just find something. Here we go. I didn't want to cut into a full sheet of paper for a tab, but I'm not so keen on all of this. I'm really not so keen on it. I don't know why, I'm just not. So I'm going to use a piece of this sheet. Yeah. It's not, it's a little bit too higgledy-piggledy for my liking, but I really do like that section there. So I'm just going to cut a piece off. How wide is that tab? Do you know, this is something I've never ever measured. How wide a piece of paper do I need to make one of these tabs? And it looks to be, the tab is about 1.5 inches wide. So if I cut 1 3/4 inches, and the depth, the tab is not quite a quarter. So as long as it's 2.5 inches by 1 3/4, I should have enough to make a tab. So that's definitely at least 1 3/4. So I'm just going to cut this section off. I think I'll cut down to there. I might cut that out as a journal card for something else. I like it. But like I said, I don't like this piece of paper as a whole. It might look nice folded over and... I didn't ask you. Look, Gertrude. We've not heard from Gertrude in so long. I think Amazon updated her so that she can tell what we're saying a little bit better. And she didn't chime in with randomness. But I have missed you, Gertrude. I really have missed you. So if anyone has joined my membership, it's a fabulous membership. You get nothing other than an emoji. And the satisfaction of knowing you've donated about $1.30 to me each month. And priority answer to comments, which means when I do come on and do comments, I will do the members first. But yeah, and it's called the Gertrude Gang, my membership. So for anyone who doesn't know why it's called the Gertrude Gang, it's because I've given my Amazon device its own name, which is Gertrude. I wish I could officially change a name to Gertrude, but I can't. Oh, look at that. That's pretty. Do you know, sometimes using the same paper for all of it does look good. And before I stick it on, I'm going to chomp some holes in it so that I can use some eyelets. The reason I'm doing it first is I haven't then got to peel it off after it's glued on if I do it wrong. And you can still... I think I want that a little bit higher. I've got that set at 1/4 inch for my depth, and I'm just eyeballing where to punch it. Then I've made them one's nearer edge than other, but it's not all about perfection, is it? I said junk. I don't think we've used any junk on this. I quite often don't use junk in my junk journaling. I use junk journaling as a way to use up all those supplies I've been spending my money on for the last 30 years that I've never used. And I'm mixing up with a bit of junk. My favourite junk to use is book pages. We set the eyelet. Right, little digression again for you. Right, sometimes when I use this tool, it ends up locking itself and then I can't open it up and get it off my eyelet. And I had quite a few subscribers say the same thing happens to them. And if ever I figure out why it does it, can I let them know? Well, I've figured it out. I'll show you. Because I can't always squeeze it with one hand and I have to use two hands. Because I've got big chompy hands, I use that hand there to help squeeze, and if we then turn it over, look where my hand is, it's on the lock button. So I'm accidentally locking it when I use two hands to squeeze it. And then can you see it doesn't open up? So yeah, I figured out what I'm doing wrong. I'm accidentally locking it with my other hand, not this hand. So it's the times when I've used two hands to squeeze it. So there you go. But that might, for those of you with delicate, tiny little hands, that's probably not been an issue for you. But that has been an issue for me. Right, I'm going to grab a bit of seam binding. I do have seam binding on my shelf, and that happened to be hanging off because I'd used it. And it's the perfect colour. So I'm going to tie a little bow on this. Because I've used the same card for the base and the journal cards, I do think it needs a little bit of floof. And and he'll pull the whole thing off there. I'm going to tie my bow. I'm doing it like this so I waste less. I only waste a little bit there that I've had to keep long so that my Chompy fingers can tie the bow. Oh, then I'm just gonna, I'll cut that off now. I might still have to trim it again. But before I tighten it up and just manipulate it so that the tails on my bow are at the bottom and my loops are at the top. Pull that a bit. There's many ways to tie bows. This is the way I find works best for my chompy fingers. There we go. And then I'll just trim it some more. I waste a little bit, but I can live with it. I'm not losing sleep at night over that much waste. And there we go. So now what I did is I made a load of these ahead of time and I've put them so safe. Can't find them. But so you can do that. Yeah, save all your faffing. Have a load ready made up so that you can pop on top of journal cards, tags, whatever you want. And yeah, you can still glue them on. Just don't let go of that until it's on. It'll just stick to itself. There we go. Pop that on. Because sometimes I do totally muck up putting the eyelets in, and you won't want your project to have to go peeling that tab off again if that happened to you, would you? So that's that. Let's find the 2 journal cards. Is that the one for the middle? Yes, that's the one for the middle, because it's not quite as high because we've got that glue at the top and bottom. Oh, have I still made it a little bit tight, that? Maybe. Do you know when I went really wonky donkey with that glue at bottom? It's probably that. That's probably why it's not fitting. So I'm just going to grab my lollipop stick instead of my bone folder. I'm just going to try and maximise space in this pocket. I'm not going to be too rough, or I don't want it to bust apart. Just to make sure I have not got any glue where it doesn't need to be. Somehow I've got glue really far up there. I don't know why that is. I don't know what I did. I'll just put too much glue on. So cutting 1/2 inch off should have been alright. Ooh, it's still very tight. I'll trim that. I'll do it now. If I don't do it now, I'll probably forget. No idea what I've done with baby trimmer. It's probably on my desk. I can't see it. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to trim a bit off the bottom though, because I don't want to lose that butterfly. So that was just me being a bit slapdash with glue. I'll re-round my corners. If you're making this vintage style and you want to ink, you'll have to re-ink your edges then. So check it fits before you do all your inking, if you're inking. That's better. That fits nicely now. Just. It might need a little bit of altering. The best tip is, you know, when you're putting your glue on, stop yabbering and concentrate on what you're doing. There you go, that'll have to do. So that's that one. That's my square one. I quite like that, even though it's all the same colour. Now, if you want to write on the back, I'm not going to do it now. Just put some labels on, put a bit of sticker paper on, put a bit of tea-dyed paper on. The other option is, if you're writing in black pen, I think it will show up nicely. You don't always have to have white and cream backgrounds to write on. Quite often in your junk journals, it'll just add thickness, won't it? Bulk that you don't need. There you go. Yeah, I've made everything a little bit tight on that. But yeah, just trim your edges down a little bit if things don't quite fit. So we've done one of each size there. And I think I'm going to do one more just to make it 3. So this time I'm going to use my A5 papers. Let's grab those. Just to show that you can make them from papers of any size. Now what have we got? Oh, look at that. That's very dotty. It's very... I don't think I'd want to use it for anything else, but it might make a good background. What have we got there? Birds. They'd make good journal cards. That's pretty. They're slightly embossed, these. Ooh, these are nice. But again, they're a little bit loud for me. I think I could use that as a journal card. And because these are single-sided, yeah, you won't see the single-sided anywhere other than you want it to be for journaling on. So I just said it doesn't have to be white or cream to journal on, but yeah, it can be, can't it? I think I like that. I like that sheet. I'm not sure which of these two pads it came out of because they're very similar. I like that sheet. Oh, I like that sheet. Oh, that's nice. It's the wood background with the roses on. Oh, that'd be so good to make circle tabs from, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, that's pretty. Might be a little bit too loud. It's got glitter and all sorts on. So, let's have a look-see. I've not done a prototype. Oh, I got these to put bits on my desk because I thought they'd be easier. They'd be harder to knock on floor, but I've just knocked one out floor. Luckily, it didn't have out in it. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to make a circle tab for the top with one of these because why would I not? I need a slightly bigger circle punch. That's my 1 1/4. I'm going to grab my 1 1/2 and see what that looks like. It's far too big. So I'm still going to use my 1 1/4. I'm going to lose some of the doily, but I'll still have some of the little holes around the edge and the rose. Ooh. So on this one, I've made the tab for the top before I've made the actual... Look at that, how pretty is that? That is going to be my tab at the top. Now, what shall I use as the base? That might be pretty nice as the base. Yeah, I'm going to use that as the base. So what's that? Do you know, I could just make it that size. Whatever that size is going to be. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Fold it over, woman. Just to show that you can make them with any size card or paper. Oh, I like that. And I'll measure it for you. That then comes out, well, it's A6 in the UK, you'll know what that is. 4 1/8 by 5 3/4. It's very similar to your A2 card size in the US, but different. Similar but different. So grab your big punch to take a notch out of the side. There we go. Do you know, this one, I think I'm going to do away with the... Oh, I'm not doing away with anything. I'm not going to use vellum. I'm going to use that. Yeah. I'm going to use that. Because I keep saying you can do this, you can do that, but I need to show you that you can do this or that, don't I? So, does that even does work sideways, so I can just take a strip off the side. Perfect. Get the trimmer back out. And I'm going to take a piece off. We know it's 4-ish, bit more than that wide. 4-ish bit more than that. That's a new measurement for me. So I'm going to make that strip 2 inches wide. And I'm going to glue that to the front. This is not my usual even style. But within a journal, yeah, it'll be fab. And I'm just going to glue the top and the bottom. I don't want to fold this over and create extra bulk, but if you want to, you could. Depends what you're going to use it for. And let's glue that on. That looks straightish. Very pretty. I'm going to round my corners because I want to. And then I'll glue it shut, being a little bit more careful about how much glue I use this time. And the journal card up front this time will not be quite as tall because we've got to allow for that glue. So let's glue these. I think I know what I did, you know, because I'd already rounded my corners, I perhaps went round the corner a little bit with the glue. This time I haven't. I've made sure I've got it in a straight line just at the top. That's a bit thick, so I've dabbed a bit off. So yeah, this is perfect for making with those single-sided papers. If you're in UK, I shop at a place called The Works, and they have lots of papers. They do single-sided ones, plus they do ones that there's some awful ones in them. There's some really pretty ones, and then there's some awful ones, and sometimes you get a really pretty pattern up front and an awful pattern on back. So yeah, this is a way to seal up the awful colours on the inside forever. Oh, I like that. Right, could I use that for one of the journal cards? I'm using that for the tab. I don't know. I could. Yeah, I could. So, remind yourself at width of that again, woman. Not centimetres. Not everyone gets centimetres. 4 and... measure it where notch isn't. 4 and 1/8. So I'm going to make my journal card 4 inches wide for the inside and perhaps 3.5 inches wide for the front. I'm going to take a whole 1/2 inch off the top again, so that's 5 3/4. So I'll make it 5 1/4. So grab your trimmer out before you forget the measurements. I'm not going to get both cards out of this one because it's just because of the pattern. If I used that, I would get 2 cards, but because I'll tell you what, I'll make the other card out of that one. Yeah, what's going to go in the inside. So it wants to be 5 1/4 high. I'm going to cut it there because I don't want to cut that journal card off halfway through a rose at the top. I don't mind cutting it off at the bottom. So 5 1/4 high. I just didn't want a half a rose at top. And 3, was it 4 wide? 4 wide. 3.5 wide on the front. So yeah, we're cutting halfway through. Yeah, I can deal with that. So yeah, 4 1/4 high by 3.5 wide. And that's the one I'm going to use on the front. Yeah, that fits perfectly. Oh, pretty. And inside, we're going to use this one, and we're going to make it 4 wide. I'll use all of these for making tabs by, was it 5 1/4 high again? Yeah, so that should fit on the inside. I'll just try it now. I know the glue's perhaps not set, but yeah, that's going to fit nicely. So I'll round my journal cards off. And then this, I'm not going to decorate this one. You've seen me decorate the others. I don't honestly know what I would decorate this one with at the moment, because I wasn't intending to make it. I may not even decorate it. These papers are fancy enough as they are. But yeah, it's a concept you can apply to lots of different types and sizes of paper and card. That's pretty. Maybe with hindsight I would have made the belly band with that and the card with that. Oh no, but I wanted to use that, didn't I, on top? That's why I did it that way. Yeah. Just be happy with what you've done, woman. Stop moaning. Yeah. You did it. No one made you. You did it. There we go. So that's that. And I'm going to cut another 1 1/4 inch circle to make the back. And I think I'll do it from, what? I don't want to waste too much. I don't like wasting. I'm going to do it from that. I know I said I was going to use this as a belly band, but look how nicely that rose fit in the centre of the circle. So sometimes before I glue things together, I like to bend them so that they're slightly bent in towards each other. You know, sometimes things can curl up when you put glue on them, and it don't make them separate in such a way that you can't get them glued fully together. You'll know what I mean if you've been there. If you haven't, trust me, I'm a crafter. So that's going to go there. Pretty. And that on the back. I'll put extra glue all around because this is quite thick card, just to make sure I've got enough to stick those two circles together. And there we have it. One made from A5 card. There we go. I've obviously got all these left over, but I've then got, I could make one with a belly band sideways. Yes, that's another option. Lots of options. There's always loads of things you can do. It's like when you look at someone else's project, you think, oh, I could do this, that and other. It's not that we know better, but it's so much easier to improve on someone else's design than come up with one of your own. Whee. Put your pin back in. Put your pin back in and then get out the others that you've made today. So we've done 3 all together in different sizes. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And yeah. So I've gone very pink onto today. It's been a pink day. So yeah, perfect for a mass make if you're not talking, especially if you're just going to mass make them in one size at a time. So I really hope you enjoyed that. Take a look at Pink, Pretty Pink Studio as well, the lady who I nicked the circle idea from. So that's all I've got to say for today. See you next time. Bye.